I like
his
this
way or the highway.
I like this guy. I like this guy. He's very personable, has a personality, talks well, he's confident in what he's saying, he's common sense, he's got a track record. I think there's a lot of hope here for United fans about what might be coming their way. It's not going to be startling straight away, and this group of players will have to be changed at some point, certainly a lot of them. But I like the fact that he's confident in, he's appreciative and he understands how big a job it is, and he's talked about that. But for somebody coming into a new country from Portugal, he carries himself and speaks very well, and he seems very, as you said, very steadfast and confident in what his approach is going to be, and players will have to adapt to it. And I think my initial take on this appointment is that this could be a very good appointment for Man United, and then the recruitment will have to come to try and help this guy. But it's going to be intriguing to watch if he can get a different tune out of these players in the next 5 or 6 games compared to what Eric Ten Hag was doing. Well, you know, the Eric Ten Hag era was just completely finished months ago, and but this looks a good appointment.
I totally agree. I will say though, my only apprehension, if I do have apprehension, is in that certainly early on I kind of felt the same about Ten Hag, how he came in and handled the Ronaldo situation, and I thought he was saying a lot of the right things, and then that just unraveled quickly. Now, Amorim certainly has real standing given what he's done with Sporting Lisbon and how he's had them playing and the successes that he's recognised with that team. But ultimately, it comes down to performances, and can he get a tune out of these players when we've questioned many of them? Not really. We've not questioned whether this group of players as individuals at their best are good enough, but they've just been far too inconsistent. Now, can Amorim, who has a reputation of being a man manager, get more consistent performances out of Marcus Rashford, out of everybody up and down that lineup? That'll be his test, and he's got a decent start in Ipswich, Bodo Glimt, and then Everton. He gets that right. He makes some of those changes. I think this could be a very good appointment. But again, it's how he kind of gets the best out of a bunch that have proven just to be too inconsistent so far.
Frank, what's it like then as a defender if you're then going to have to adapt to playing in a back three? How hard or difficult is that?
It's going to be very hard because I think they're not ready. I don't think they have the personnel for that. I don't think they have a leader to cope with the situation and help out the others, especially the one who's going to be in the center of the three at the back, and De Ligt for instance. So I'm not sure De Ligt is ready to do that, and let's see how it works. And it's why I agree to everything Amorim said before. He said we're going to play our way. That's not possible. If the player don't stick to your ideas, you will have to change. We saw Enzo Maresca for Chelsea trying to play from the back, knowing and seeing that he didn't have the personnel for that, so he changed his mind and played another way, and he's been very smart about it because Chelsea has better results nowadays. If it doesn't work at 3 at the back, I can tell you, within 3 days, 3 other games, Amorim's going to change his mind before he can buy the players that he wants. But with those personnel, with those players, if it doesn't work, he will change his way of thinking. So far, it's possible. Let's see how it works. I think De Ligt, Martinez, and Lindelof are smart enough to cope with the situation, but how is going to work with the 2 in the flanks? How is going to work with the 2 midfielders? That's another story, and I'm not sure that's going to be the solution to only think going with your way. I'm not sure about that.
So talking about another story, Frank sounds a bit negative there. Craig sounds quite positive with what's going on at Manchester United right now with Ruben Amorim.
No. The team's the team.
So we just wondered how you guys were going to pick for the predictions at the weekend.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, the team is the team. I'm positive about the approach, the rhetoric, the confidence, and the track record, I suppose, which is why he's got the job of the manager. The rest of it, I think, will take time. It shouldn't be that difficult for international experienced players to navigate moving to a back three. There are small situations you have to work on, like offside traps and dropping in spaces between the centre halves, blah, 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 and how far the wing backs push up and all that sort of stuff. I mean, I've played wing back, you know, as a midfielder, I've played wing back at times for Scotland. As a midfielder, I had to go back and do a job in a right-sided centre back of a back three for Scotland in Belarus when we were struggling for players. It's not ideal, but it's not as difficult as people would make out. I mean, you just got to figure it out and understand the game and work with your other partners. So it can be done, but it might just take a little bit of time, and they don't have the best of defenders. They don't have the quickest of defenders, particularly when you look at Matthijs de Ligt in there. And you can only play him in the middle. You really couldn't put him out to the left or the right where he would be exposed to a wing back pushing on, and then all of a sudden he's facing a wide guy, because he'll get ripped to shreds more often than not. So he has to be the guy that's controlling, you know, Martinez and Lindelof. He has to be this captain and leader that he was when he was a teenager in Holland. That's gone. That seems to have gone away now. He's short of confidence. He hasn't played well for a while. But he has to get that back in this system where he's got Martinez on a rope here and Lindelof on a rope there, right? And he's making sure they're in the positions that he needs them to be. That's a starting point. He's controlling that back line as the middle guy of the three.
What happens if these players don't fit your style? Like, how stubborn is he going to be from what we've just heard him saying now?
I totally get what Frank's saying, and it comes down to whether, and I'm not suggesting this is going to happen, if United don't pick up any wins and they're getting 3 or 4 defeats in a row, of course he's not going to get the sack before people start jumping on me. But then he's got to make a decision. Do I continue with the back three in bad times whilst not getting results? Or do I make a change to try and get us further up the table and possibly into Europe at some point? You know, that's the kind of decisions that he'll have to make. It's not going to be whether I'm going to save my job like Eric Ten Hag. He was doing things to save his job at the end of it. It's not like that. But he'll have to make a decision whether he changes a side and a shape, if it's not working, to get results in the short term until he can get players in the long term. That's the question that I can't answer, because 1, we don't know the results, and 2, we don't know how stubborn he is going to be in terms of the way that they're going to play.
I think that's dependent on the expectations of Amorim. And as we sit right now, I don't think there are any or should be that many outside of make Manchester United a more solid outfit, make them more difficult to beat, show some signs of progress. Now, we sit here and all the talk for the last 2 weeks, thanks to the international break, was Manchester United are only 4 points outside of the top 4, whatever it is. So therefore, that's within touching distance. Well, that's all well and good. I don't think that's his immediate remit. This is not his squad. This is not a squad built to play the system that he is. And while he's saying all the right things, I think the only realistic expectation is that he makes United a more solid outfit and then can build from there. Everything else is just icing on the cake.
They're trying to tell us something there.
No, it wasn't Oscar's music moment. I think it was just a wrong button pushed. However, we did.
Well, I did think they were trying. Frank, I'm in agreement. We really do need to move on. I mean, it's been a long
Okay, well, you did just get a look. That's all we'll tell you. Manchester City face Spurs this weekend. All of you think Manchester City are going to win this game. We obviously know Pep Guardiola is sticking around, and they are going to break that run of losses, according to Craig, Frank and Shaka this weekend. It is a game that we'll be talking about more.
Hello, Red Devils. Breaking news coming in hot about the potential new face at Old Trafford. Craig Burley's recent comments about Ruben Amorim have got the football world buzzing. And let me tell you why this matters for Manchester United. Burley, the former Chelsea midfielder and respected pundit, couldn't contain his enthusiasm when discussing Sporting CP's manager. He specifically highlighted Amorim's tactical flexibility and his impressive track record of developing young talent, something that's deeply embedded in United's DNA. His work at Sporting has been nothing short of remarkable, Burley emphasized. The way he's transformed that team, implementing a dynamic playing style while maintaining defensive stability, it's exactly what United needs right now. What's particularly interesting is Amorim's success with limited resources. He's shown he can compete with the big boys while developing players like Nuno Mendes and Mateus Nunes into world-class talents. Imagine what he could do with United's resources and academy prospects. Let's be honest, fellow United supporters, we've seen enough managers come and go, but there's something different about Amorim. His philosophy aligns perfectly with our club's traditions, attacking football, youth development, and a winning mentality. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications to stay updated with the latest Manchester United news and analysis.